it's Queen of Light 1111 here with Laura, the happiness coach, for our second collaboration. Hey, Laura.
Hey.
So we've got such great feedback from all of you. Laura's gotten some awesome comments on her YouTube post from last week, and I received the same. So Laura and I have decided that we're going to continue to collaborate for you guys weekly and provide this collective divine masculine feminine reading. So we're super, super excited about doing that, and we're so happy that you all have embraced us working together. So before we get into the reading, I want to make an announcement. Laura and I have been talking, and we have decided that we are going to hold a very, very exclusive event here in California, in Northern California. Laura has a huge presence here in the United States and in California specifically. As do I, and we've decided to hold an exclusive event. It'll probably be a 4-hour session, a conference, a workshop, a retreat. We haven't quite coined it yet, but it is an exclusive opportunity for all of you to have a chance to, one, meet Laura and I, have an opportunity to hear us speak about the twin flame journey, this collective. We're also definitely working through the agenda. There might be a healing session, as well as some energy exchanges. It's going to be a 4-hour event in Northern California. We're going to continue to work on the agenda and come to you with a date and pricing in the upcoming weeks. And again, so this is going to be super exclusive. It's going to be first come, first serve. And so I would encourage you all, the minute that we launch this venture, which is probably going to occur in February or early March, that you purchase your tickets as soon as possible, because we are only going to have a certain number of people so that we can devote our time, our attention, and our energy. So again, mid-February, early March is the timing. It's going to be in Northern California, specifically in the San Francisco Bay Area. You'll have an opportunity to meet with Laura, to hear her speak, to have an energy exchange with us, and potentially also maybe some healing. So Laura, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really excited. I think it'd be great to meet everyone. And I always feel like with these events, it's great for everyone to meet each other, because the energy in the room when there's all of us together is amazing. And that's kind of healing on its own, just having a collective of us. So it would be great to meet everyone, and everyone gets to meet you as well, which will be amazing. And I'm excited that they get to see us together, because we're great friends, and we have great energy when we're together, and we're a great team. So it would be nice to be able to collaborate and do that together. I just think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be, I get asked all the time, when can I come to America to do this? So I'm really excited. I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to do it. I think it's going to be amazing. And we're both like, we're ready, right? We're like, so bring it on. We're so ready.
This yesterday.
Yeah, it's like, should we do this today? Should we come fly over? Like, we're super, super excited for this, and we're super ready. So yeah, if you guys are interested, just leave a comment below, and we're going to flick through all the comments anyway, and we can kind of get an idea as to, who's interested, and also, put below what you think that you would like from us. Do you guys want a reading? Do you guys want some healing? Do you want to hear us talk about certain things? Do you have any questions? Like, put ideas below, because we're going to go through that, aren't we, and just see what people are going to kind of saying. We're going to base everything around that as well, so that you guys get the most out of your journey to us, and we get the most out of everything. So yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. I really, really, really do. I think it's going to be amazing, and I'm so super excited to meet everyone. It's just going to be incredible.
Yeah, I am too. And yes, thank you. Yeah, we definitely want to know what the response is to this venture that we're going to do. So yeah, Laura, thank you for mentioning. Please comment or email me or email Laura, but definitely let us know, because we are definitely going to hold this event in the new year very, very soon. So we're super excited about meeting all of you. Thanks, Laura.
Yeah. Okay. So did you want to start with the collective, or shall I start with the feminine? I've got...
Why don't you start with the overall energy for the feminine, and then I will respond back with what the masculine's doing these days.
Okay. All right. So the overall energy of the feminine at the moment, she's got the Five of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Empress. So the Five of Cups is kind of, I mean, it's a sad card, right? There's sadness, there's regret, there's crying over spilt milk, as people say with this card. So there is some overall sadness with her at the moment. But with this Two of Pentacles in the middle, it's like she's trying to juggle something. And I love that the Empress has come out next to it. So I kind of feel like she's juggling her energy and her emotions. She's trying to be the Empress. She's learned so much on her journey. She knows what she needs to do next. You know, we have the moon here in this card. I love that, because the feminine's so connected to the moon. It's like she's so in her feminine right now, but she's also carrying this energy here of the Five of Cups. She's sad. So she's trying to balance it. She's trying to figure out, do I do this? Do I do that? What have I learned on this journey? How shall I move forward? And then there's other times where she just feels very, very sad. She feels like she's lost something. Maybe she feels like she's lost part of who she is or herself, and she's just in that energy. So you may feel like you're going back and forth with these, okay? You might feel like this way, and moving back and forth. But that's just because there is some releasing here with the feminine, because obviously something's happened for her to be in the Five of Cups. And like I said, the moon is here. We've had the full moon. There's been a lot of heavy energy. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Oh my gosh. Sorry. What are the odds? I'll ring her in a minute. So yeah, it kind of feels like she's with the full moon. It's like the energy's been very, very heavy. So I know there's been a lot of releasing and a lot of letting go, and maybe even a lot of purging, because this full moon really did take out of a lot of the feminine. So that's kind of where she is right now. She is the Empress. She is powerful. She knows what she can do. She knows her value and her worth. She knows how to move forward, but at the same time, she's still having moments of doubt and feeling a bit sad. That's kind of what I got for her overall energy at this time.
Okay. So for the masculine, I used the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue. So the bottom of the deck for the masculine space is the Page of Cups. So this is really about, the Page of Cups is a kind of an immature sort of young type of offer. Okay, it's not an offer from the king. It's the Page of Cups, and so. In this tarot deck, it says a relationship begins a new phase. So keep that in mind as we go through the masculine's journey here. So in his overall energy, first and foremost, his card is the Two of Air. So the Two of Air is the Two of Swords. And so this is another two. Laura just had the Two of Pentacles. So, they're in a period of, decision-making, going back and forth. The Two of Air specifically is really about a stalemate, right? Things are at a pause at this time. It's about him being unwilling or unable to make a decision. This is a complete stalemate. He also may be pretending that there isn't a problem in his life with his feminine today, or even just in general. So it's almost like escapism. So he's got this Two of Air energy, which is then followed by the Fool, right? The dreamer. And so this is about, following your dreams, taking a leap of faith. This could be about new beginnings. But, when I got it with the Two of Air, and I literally just got this message where it says, pretending there is no problem. This is the Fool. It's almost foolish, right? It's foolish for him to pretend that there isn't some major turmoil going on in his life, because it's followed by the Three of Air. The Three of Air is all about great sadness. It's about taking the time to heal. It's time to forgive yourself, forgive others. So, he's in this period of, pretending there isn't a problem, at a stalemate, unwilling to make a decision. He's being foolish about it. He's kind of escaping reality. But yet, his heart there's some great sadness there. This is his overall energy. Stalemate, foolish behavior, but yet great sadness in his heart space. Okay. So I just feel like we have two swords energies. He's definitely in his thoughts. I feel like he's definitely more in his, headspace with what he is thinking, than what he may be feeling, even though the Three of Air is a very piercing type of energy. I just feel like he's trying to escape the pain with this Fool. Okay. So that's really what I'm getting from his overall energy. Just a little bit of escapism. Yes, he's got some pain, some turmoil, but he's just unwilling to make any moves at this time.
Oh.
I know, sorry.
Okay. Do you know, it's funny, I forgot to mention this card, but like I pulled this out for the overall energy for her as well, which I feel like is maybe a support card as well for a lot of people that are resonating. But it says here, be prepared to be renewed after this period of crisis. This is the Phoenix card. So it's like a lot of the feminines are rising up from the ashes at the moment. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is a lesson here, but we kind of have to go through the tunnel first, right? So there is heavy energy. And as you just said, there is some heartache. So looking at the feminine's headspace, she has the Three of Swords as well. So they've both kind of got this in their energy at the moment. So there is some sadness here. There is some loss. There is pain. And she has this with the Five of Wands. So she's kind of battling things in her head right now. Again, she had the Two of Pentacles in her overall energy. So it's like this, she's going back and forth on a lot of things. I feel like, she might even be confused. Like maybe things shifted really quickly and she's like still trying to get her head around it, but she's battling these things here. She's also got the Ten of Wands. So she's been carrying a lot of burdens for a long time. I feel like to give it away, we have an ace here in the Ace of Wands here in the heart space. And I just kind of feel like she just needs one wand. She doesn't need to carry 10. It feels like half of these wands aren't even hers. This is some of his, this is some of her family, this is some of her friends, whatever she's going through right now. Everyone's situation is different, but I feel like she's carrying a lot for everyone. And as the feminine, it's very easy to do that because that's what we're good at. We help people, but she needs to look after herself right now. I feel like she's starting to kind of realize that, but because she has the Justice, so she needs balance, and she knows it. She knows that she needs to receive and not just give all the time. She knows that things need to be balanced out. And also, on here you can see, maybe you can't, hopefully you can, there's a little heart on here. It's like she's balancing her head in the heart as well. And with that Five of Wands, it kind of clarifies it for me. This battle, she's trying to think, okay, is this my ego or is this my heart saying this? Do I do this or do I do that? So there's a lot of back and forth with the feminine at the moment in her headspace, in her overall energy, and even in her heart a little bit, which I'll go into later. So a little advice card for this energy here. It says sanctuary. It says take time out from the world, spend more time alone, meditate, or go on a retreat. So it really, you might, like the feminists might be feeling really a little bit lonely right now, a little bit lost, a little bit empty because some things have shifted. And maybe, with this Three of Swords, it's like you didn't expect this to happen. It came out of nowhere. And so there's, a moon in this card as well. It's like really be the feminine. Use what you've learned as the feminine and take time on your own and just be yourself and just be peaceful, because with this Phoenix card, you are going to go through this, you are going to get through this in the end, but at the moment it just feels like it's pretty heavy in the headspace. So a lot of back and forth for the feminine. Yeah.
Oh, it's heavy energy. So in his headspace, we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands, fire sign, right? So this King of Wands, when he is in his, higher self, he's very focused. He's determined. He's a leader. He's ambitious. He's a great communicator. He communicates with vision and purpose. So in his headspace, it's almost like he wants to embody this, okay? But it's followed by the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is all about, it's about self-love. It's about a renewal of love. It's about the resurgence of a relationship. It's also about spiritual growth, for him. And then it's followed by the Moon card. The Moon is all about, things that are happening behind the scenes. It's about things that you don't know about. It's also about psychic insights. So what I'm getting is that this King of Fire is going through something right now where he needs to love himself a little bit more, okay? He's working with the universe. I really feel like with this energy, with this moon's energy, you know, he's probably trying to tap into his intuition. There are things that you probably don't need to know that he's going through, okay? This unknown that is going to be known to him does not necessarily need to be known to you, right? Because when you look at the feminine's energy, she's already heartbroken. I mean, there's probably a lot more behind the scenes with this masculine that you guys just really don't know about at this time. And so he's working on love of himself, love, you know, having better self-esteem, confidence, you know, so that he can really embody this king of fire energy. I don't feel like he's the king of fire in his headspace. Maybe in his ego, he might feel that he is, but I just really feel like given this transformation, and it's going to continue to come out through this reading, is that he's working on his own self-love at this time. And until he loves himself, will he be able to give properly to this connection. So with this moon's energy, I just feel like the divine is working with him. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. So in his headspace, he's really going through some sort of personal transformation so that he can become this King of Wands, okay? And this King of Wands, again, not to have a spoiler alert, is going to come up in the connective energy for the collective. So there is definitely some transformation going on with the masculine around how he views himself, sees himself, how he can come into the King of Fire, into that energy, because I don't feel like he is today. And with the moon card showing up, I just feel like there's a lot going on with him behind the scenes that the feminine just doesn't even know about, right? That he's processing, that he's going through. And I really am getting a strong feeling that it is the divine working with him so that he can embody this King of Fire.
You know, it could be like even the feminine could be feeling that, because with this back and forth all the time, maybe it's like she feels herself and then she feels him, feels herself and feels him. You know, like I know that a lot of the feminines do feel the energy of the masculine. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like she's been the king and the emperor, and you mentioned that last time, you know, and so he's got to step it up, but that comes with this self-love. I just feel like he just doesn't have that just yet to the extent that the feminine does, because the feminine is showing up as the empress. She's the queen and she knows it, right? So he's got to love himself first, and I just feel like the universe is working with him so he can step into his power, because right now he's trying to escape it, and his overall energy, there's a little escapism going on, and I feel like he's going to be forced to evolve or continue to evolve.
Yeah, divine intervention, I suppose.
Right.
Okay, well, looking at the feminine's headspace, so the first, heart space, the first card I want to pull is this one. It's the Four of Swords. So again, she is really, she's contemplating right now. I feel like she does want to be on her own right now. She's got a lot of things on her mind. Obviously, we've seen that in the headspace, and she's just taking the time out. I feel like she wants to listen to her heart. She wants to be true to herself. She wants to be the empress. So she is definitely listening to what her heart is telling her. She has this Ace of Wands here, and I feel it's like she wants a new beginning. She wants a new beginning. She wants a fresh start. She does have the Knight of Cups here. But she, with this Hierophant next to it, it's like she knows that they have a connection, but she's just, in a way, when I pulled this card, it felt more like she knows she has this connection. It's never going to go anywhere. She's accepting that, but it doesn't mean that she's not going to move forward in whatever way the universe brings her. Because that, to me, the Hierophant, when I pulled it out, it felt very loving. It felt like that he's never going to go away. He's always going to be with me, and that's beautiful. And I can have my new beginning in whatever way that looks, with or without him physically right now, because we always have this connection. So she can definitely feel him in her heart, and I think that that's where some of the sadness comes from, with the Three of Swords in the head. It's like she feels that energy, and it can feel quite sad because they have this passionate connection together, right? And that's some of the reason why she's in this Four of Swords energy, where she's spending a lot of time on her own and focusing on things, because she knows that's never going to go away, but she has to find a way to have a new beginning and to rise up with the phoenix while still carrying that connection. So she does have the Knight of Cups here. Okay, now when I first pulled this as well, it felt like to me it feels like she wants to keep this cup for herself. She wants to drink out of her own cup until justice is served. Because in her head, and this can be ego as well sometimes, it's like justice has to be served before I let anyone drink out of my cup. So she's working on, meditating and working through things, working through that Three of Swords energy so that she can fill up this cup. And so if he wants to step forward, she's willing to share this cup, or if he doesn't, she has enough for herself. So it really is about self-love, focusing on herself, focusing on her emotions. She's actually, it's funny now I'm thinking about it because you just said this, she's doing the opposite. So it looks like the masculine is ignoring that there's a problem, or he's blaming the feminine, or he's saying, I have nothing to heal, whatever the case may be. She's doing the opposite. She's looking at every single corner of her mind and of her heart and of her soul, and she is looking at what is there to make sure that everything is cleaned out, clean house. It's like making sure that there's nothing that's left behind. So any energy that is unwanted, that doesn't serve her, something that's, I feel like a lot of the feminines they're really seeing around them what they're attracting. She's looking at everything in her life, and she's focusing on, right, what can I heal? What can I get rid of? So she's kind of doing it she's doing enough, she's not doing it for both of them, but she's certainly putting in her own effort and his as well. Like she's doubly, I feel like she's really strongly going for that at the moment in her heart space. So the connection will always be there, and I feel like she's focused, she knows that. But that feels very loving to me, that she knows that he'll always be there. But it's time to sort of focus on her.
Good for her. I mean, she's got to clean out every corner if she's fully going to heal with that Four of Swords energy, right? I mean, that's important.
Yeah.
All right. we both sound so exhausted. We're like, yeah, okay. All right, let's liven it up a little bit. Okay, here's all right, so in the masculine's heart space, okay, so we've got the World card. We have the Five of Cups, the Five of Water, and Justice. Where did you get the Five of Cups?
I got it in her overall energy.
Overall, okay, so they continue to mirror, right? We have the Three of Air, we've got the Five of Cups. I mean, there's wounds, there's sadness, there's disappointment. Things didn't quite turn out the way that either one of them have hoped. Okay, so this is the heart space for the masculine. The first card is the World. The World is about the completion of a cycle. Okay, it's about finally ending something. It's this card also says it's the path towards enlightenment. So in his heart space, I really feel like with this Five of Cups, through this sadness, not seeing, that he's in the sadness, that things didn't turn out the way that he hoped, that the situation is not positive, right? And with Justice right next to it, what I'm really feeling is that he wants to end this cycle of sadness, of disappointment, of loss, of the obsession and the thinking of his behaviors and actions and things that he might have committed that he knows he needs to balance out with his feminine. So in his heart space, he knows he needs to end this cycle. He knows that, he doesn't feel good about the way things are or have transpired with his feminine, and things need to be balanced. It's time for him to stand up and do the right thing. And nobody's hating on the masculine, but I got to tell you, like, there's some major stuff that's gone on in his, overall energy with, not moving towards anything with the Two of Air, then trying to escape the problem, but yet operating in sadness, right? There's things that are happening behind the scenes. And now we have, hey, I'm really sad about this. I'm sad about the things that I've done, and I know I need to correct this with you and end this cycle. It's just like, I don't have Wands energy, which is action for him, right? And so that to me is a little frustrating. It's because he's just all up in his thoughts. Two of Air, Three of Air, right? We've got, Five of Water, oh, woe is me. And then when we get into the 3D, we have Three Swords cards. So he's very much in his headspace, but he's not really taking any action. And so I guess that in the bright side, you know, if someone is going to evolve, you do have to come to some sort of logic or logical conclusion about something, about how you want to change. But what I'm getting intuitively, especially with this Five of Cups, is there's a little bit of a victim mentality, right? Oh, things didn't happen the way that I wanted to. It says crying over spilled milk. And so there's a little bit of, you know, I want to escape this problem. I don't want to deal with it. This, you know, woe is me. But yeah, I know that we need to end the cycle and I need to do right by her, but I don't see the action there. So maybe even at the end, maybe I'll pull some cards to see what actions he's going to take. But for his heart space, I just feel like it's like he wants this to end. He wants to do the right thing, but is he going to do it? I just don't know. I'm not getting any indication of that one way or another, because his overall energy is very much of being at a stalemate, right? So I feel like he's processing in his brain. You know, with this Five of Cups, he's processing his sadness. He wants the cycle to end. With the Justice card, it's a major arcana card, so it's indicative of, you know, wanting to do the right thing, to balance the scales. But will he do it? I don't know. Because remember, we have a Page of Cup at the bottom of the deck, and this feminine, who is the Empress, who is cleaning house in her own mental and heart space, is not going to take a cup from a page. She wants the cup from a king. So we'll see. We'll see. I just feel like right now he's just very much processing. Maybe things are very fresh, and that's why we don't have action cards just yet. And it's just more mental processing and a little bit of victimhood. But I don't see anything where he's like ready to be this King of Wands for her just yet. I don't know, Laura, is that fair?
Yeah, that's how, I mean, we've got, like, she's got 3 wands cards here, so it's like action. So she's more in that kind of space. But yeah, that does make sense. I do feel like maybe this is fresh, because I don't really feel like, even with her energy, I don't feel like she's to me, it feels like she's recovering from something. And for you, the way you read the masculine, it's like something's happened. So I feel like she's just, like, with the Empress and then the Five of Cups, and she's got 4 of Cups and the 3 of Swords. It's like, even the 4 of Swords, she's really in deep contemplation. And it's like her eyes are closed in all of these. The eyes are closed, or they're blindfolded. It's like I feel like she wants to just shut off right now, especially with this card as well, take time from the world. It's like she just wants to shut off and just be with herself. So there's obviously definitely a cycle that's ended. And going into like the 3D space, when you were saying that, I was looking at this and I was thinking, to me, this is like all the opportunities. These are all the cycles. And she's looking at all these cycles that they've gone through. And, you know, there could be another one here. But this cup is a little bit different. It's brighter. And it's coming from the universe. It's coming from up here. It's not coming from the ground. It's coming from the universe. It's like a divine gift. But she knows, like, she's got the 8 of Pentacles. She knows if they want to be together, it's going to take a lot of hard work. And not just from her, it has to be equal, because she's got this Justice card in her headspace. And the masculine had it as well, right? In his heart space, I think he had Justice.
Correct.
Yeah, so she knows that it would take a lot of hard work if they were to be together, and she knows that the opportunity would have to be given to her. She's not going to look for this. She's not going to chase these. She's going to wait for this to kind of be shown to her. And it comes under the Knight of Cups. So, you know, it could be that she's going to wait for, you know, him to step forward. But because that's under the 3 of Swords, I feel like it is still quite fresh. But she's also got the High Priestess. So she's a lot wiser in this. If this new cycle was to begin, she's a lot wiser. She's going to do it very, very differently. She's going to do it from the 5D. She's going to do it totally from the feminine. And she's got the Queen of Swords next to it. It's like, I feel like right now she's had to say something. She's had to say something. She's had to be very honest. She's had to really open up her throat chakra and really speak her truth. Because, you know, with this 10 of Wands, it's like she was carrying all these burdens. There's only so long that you can do that. And in the end, she had to kind of speak her truth and say something, because there was too much for her to handle. So she knows that if she was to begin a new cycle, if she was to start something new, it would have to be very, very different. It would have to be very spiritual. It would have to be like a whole new relationship. The the way things have been with all the sadness here, this has to end. It's like she can't go into this relationship as this energy, and this is who she is. She needs to be able to approach this new cycle as this high priestess, and the only way for her to do that is for things to completely die off and shift and change, and that may take time. She, like I said, she's got the 8 of Wands, so it's like she knows that work will need to be done, and it will need to be done from both angles, but she's not going to chase. She'll possibly do this if the opportunity comes to her, but I'll let you talk about the masculine. But it's like things have to be completely renewed in order for that to happen.
Right. So in the 3D space for him, we have the 6 of air. 6 of air is about, the end of a difficult situation. This is the theme of the reading, okay? The end of a difficult situation is what they both ultimately want. And then we have the 5 of air, which is, again, and this is the 3D space, just shows that there was some sort of major conflict that has transpired that has affected the feminine, that's affecting the masculine. And now we have the match, the King of Air to Laura's Queen of Swords. And so there was some sort of exchange between the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. And it was not easy. 5 of Swords is a lose-lose. And what people need to do when they're in this type of energy is really learn from the situation. We have to check motives. We have to understand what this fight was about. This is, nobody wins. It's defeat. 5 of Swords is a defeated type of energy. People are exhausted, okay? It's, the 5 of Wands, I really feel like, which came up in her Headspace, I believe, that's more of a, battle of the minds, the egos, wills, competing goals. This 5 of air is piercing, okay? Which is, to me, this is why he's in the 3 of air. It was a piercing fight, a piercing type of energy between the King of Air and the Queen of Swords. And so in the 3D, his first card out was he just wants to move into something smoother. He wants to end this difficult situation, okay? He wants to move into smoother waters, which is why we have this, I'm not going to do anything. Let's try to escape the problem, even though we're both hurt by what just happened with this 5 of air. So, he's very affected. He may pretend like he's not, but he's got very heavy energies of not doing anything. His heart is pierced. He's in the 5 of cups, and now it's like this fight with his queen has really defeated him. Okay, that's just the energy that I'm getting, which is probably why both Laura and I feel very heavy at this time. It's just, this 5 of Swords is a very heavy energy, especially when we lay it out with all of the other spaces here. This King of the Swords and the Queen of Swords had a very, very difficult battle. The Queen probably spoke her truth, created a tower, a conflict. People have gone into retreat. And there is this desire to move into something smoother, but the Queen is in an energy of, hey, we're not going to sweep this under the rug. This has to be completely different, just like you've been saying. And I just don't know that he is prepared to try to go into something different at this time. My overall energy for him is, I really feel like he's processing, trying to figure out how to come into his power. He's licking his wounds a little bit, trying to love himself again with this Ace of Water. He knows he needs to try to do right? There needs to be an apology or some sort of correction here in the relationship, because the old way will not work. The World card, things need to change. The cycle needs to end completely. It needs to die. So, Laura, what I'd like to do now that we've covered head, heart, and 3D is just do a quick top down. Would you like to do the same?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I'll just do it real quick, and then you can go into yours, and then we'll go into connective. So here again, King of Fire, there's the desire for him to be this ambitious king, this leader, person who is very focused on his goals. But he cannot get into that until this cycle that they're in, where he acts, as a page or a fool. It can't happen until it ends. Okay. And then and only then can they move into something smooth. Okay. Then the next message is there's this self-love that needs to occur. We have the 5 of Cups next to it with the 5 of Air, 5 and 5. These are numbers of challenge, okay? So with the 5 of Cups, there's this sadness, there is this regret, things didn't happen as planned. We had this fight that defeated both of us, that now we need to love ourselves a little bit more. We need to gain our confidence. And this resurgence of this relationship, again, cannot occur until we get out of this cycle of 5s, right, with the World card. Then the last one, we have 2 major arcanas with the King. So to me, this is very, very important. The Moon, Justice, and the King of Air. He needs to manifest or evolve himself into someone who is going to speak with confidence. Remember, we talked about the Ace of Water, which is about his self-love. He needs to be able to be mentally and emotionally balanced. The universe is working with him behind the scenes, things you don't need to know about, feminine, but the universe is working with him. There's things that are happening in his life at this time that is going to help him manifest and become this King of Air, King of Fire, okay? And that will then balance the scale, okay? I'm not talking about reunion. I'm talking about people doing right by each other. It's about people being emotionally and mentally balanced. It's about the relationship becoming more balanced. Because until then, there will be this constant imbalance, this constant in and out, like separation union, because he's just not ready. The universe needs to continue to work with him on the back end while you continue to stay in your power and heal your wounds from what has occurred even in the past with this masculine, or even inner child issues that you may have had from the past that this masculine has triggered. But this continued back and forth with him is just not going to work at this time. He is not ready, and he's not in a place at this time to be this king. He wants to be. I really, inside, I feel like he wants to be, but he is very much in a place of avoidance. He's in a place of, because it's so fresh, he's in sadness, and he's definitely in his head. But there is a desire for him to manifest a king status for himself. And I really feel like the universe is working with him.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. Do you know, it's funny because maybe that's why this feels so heavy as well. Because I don't know about you, as you're reading those, I'm feeling really heavy reading these. And it does feel like it's stagnant. Like he doesn't want to do any work right now and she can't. So it feels a little bit stuck. Do you know what I mean? It just feels like it's very, very still.
Yeah, which is why, exactly why we're feeling heavy, and it's frustrating, to be honest. It's the feminine can't do any more work. She doesn't have it in her anymore, right? She's responsible for her own growth, for her own evolution, and I really feel like the constant back and forth within this collective is just not a good idea. I just feel like separation is critical for people to get a hold of themselves.
I totally agree. I think separation is very necessary. And I even think that that's maybe what divine intervention is doing, is separating them, because it's too much. It's becoming quite toxic and it's stopping each other from really growing. I feel like the feminine is stopping her growth and the masculine's not starting this really, because he's focused on the feminine, or he's focused on the battles. And so there's no forward movement, and there needs to be for both of us. So yeah, going top down, so we have the Ten of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Queen of Swords. So she's been carrying a lot of the energy to herself, like we were just saying, and she can't do that anymore. So she's been very honest, and I feel like some of you out there have said that you communicated it, or you just cut things off because you can't carry these burdens anymore. You have that spiritual connection. It's probably why you carried them for so long, but that's not enough anymore. That will always be there, and that's okay. But for now, you have to put the wands down. It is a 10, so it is the end of a cycle. Then she's got the Justice, she's got the Ace of Wands, and she's got the High Priestess. So she knows that things need to be balanced in order to have a new beginning. She's putting down most of these wands and she's only carrying one. So she's stepping very much into her 5D space, which is her gift. Because as the feminine, us being very intuitive and having the gifts that we do, that's our superpower. So she's fully focused on what can I do in the 3D that what have I learned on this journey? Becoming a 5D high priestess, what can I do to move forward? So she's really very focused on that in order to have this new beginning. She knows that the scales need to be balanced. So she knows that she can't give anymore. She knows that she has to sit back in her divine feminine power, in her energy, and just see what comes through. But for now, she knows that there's no way forward until the scales are balanced, because like we just said, she has these 10 of Wands, she cannot give anymore. So with the 5 of Wands and the 4 of Swords, it's like that she's been having these battles back and forward in her head. She has to stop that. She knows that it's too much. She knows she needs to stop that, and that's what she's doing. She's being still, she's meditating, she's contemplating, she's focusing on what she needs to do to move forward, and she's focusing on work. She knows that if they want to be together, there has to be a lot of work that has to be put in, but she knows that it has to come from the other person, because at the moment there isn't a balance. So she knows that the divine masculine will need to put in just as much work as what she's done, because she's already made all these coins and she's made them all on her own. She needs help. So she needs to either accept help from the masculine at some point in the future and work towards a new beginning, or she needs to stop making so much effort and just step more into that the high priestess energy, or even the 4 of Swords. And then the final one with the 3 of Swords, there she is feeling heartbreak, she is feeling lost, there is some sadness there and some pain. She's focusing on herself, her own self-love. She knows that if she wants this cup to come forward from the divine masculine, it has to be divinely orchestrated now. It has to come from the universe. It can't be from her own manifestation. It can't be from her own will and her chasing. She knows that, as you can see, like this, he's walking this way. It's like she knows that if that has to come forward, it has to be divinely orchestrated, because then she'll know and she'll trust that it's time for a new beginning, if it's possible to have one, and if they both choose to have one. So even reading it top down, it's still pretty heavy.
Well, I know. I'm exhausted. I feel like I need a nap after this. So let's go into the connection. So those were the individual spaces for the feminine and the masculine. So this is what's happening with the connection today. First card out, 2 of Swords. So this is a dupe to his overall energy. So again, this connection completely halted at this time. The following card is the 4 of Cups. The 4 of Cups matches Laura's energy in the 3D space. The 4 of Cups is a card of, it's, again, nobody is giving love. No one is receiving love. We're focusing here on these 3 cups. We're looking down at that. We're not satisfied. And there is this 1 cup from the universe, which is right behind her, which is this Ace of Cups here in his headspace, okay? And so what I'm really getting is, until they start to love each other independently, meaning love themselves, can we move forward? Because I think there's just so many wounds here at this time that we just need to not focus on this and just focus on this 1 cup that we need to fill for ourselves. So that's what we do when we're at a stalemate, okay? So 2 of Swords, at a stalemate, fill your own cup of love. And then the next card that comes out is the Hierophant. So this is, again, a dupe to Laura's space there in the heart. So there's this contract, right? There's this connection. Both people know it. And it is what is, still keeping them together. Although it's not a great spot, because we're at a stalemate. No one is giving or receiving love. There are wounds. We need to fill our own cup of love first before we can truly get into this contract. What follows after is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is a dupe to his bottom of the deck. It's fine. It's a good cup. It's an offer, but it has a fish in it. You can't drink from that cup. If this cup has a fish in it, you can't drink from it. So what does he need to do? He needs to transform into the King of Wands. So I feel like this is an evolution. This is the current connective energy, which is we're at a stalemate. We're trying to, while we're not giving each other love or receiving it from one another, we are trying to fill our own cup of love, right? As part of this contract. We want to make a small offer, but we are way beyond small offers in this connection, okay? What we require in this connection is direction, leadership, king status, okay? That's really what I feel like is happening with this connection today. This evolution from this page to a king. But fill your own cup of love first while we are at this stalemate to honor your contract, honor yourself. Does that make sense, Laura?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So now, future energies. Before I go to that, I want to tell you at the bottom of the deck is, because for me, this was really profound. It's the Fool again. So the Fool came up in his headspace, but I'm going to read this Fool a little differently than that Fool. Sorry. So the Fool in his headspace was his escapism, okay? Had not really taking that leap of faith to do the work because he's stuck between this 2 of air and 3 of air. This Fool is very different. It's in the connective energy. This is the new beginning. And I say this because in the future, this is what we have. Well, looky here. There's the Ace of Cups. It magically, through this divine intervention, becomes full. People start to love themselves, okay? That's the only way you can build in this relationship in the future is if you filled your own cup of love. So now in the future, in this connection, we can offer this cup to each other because it's full now. And then we can move into something smoother. 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords was in his 3D space. Okay, so our cup is full. Lots of people can drink from this cup. You see all the fish at the bottom. Now we can move into something smoother. What do we move into? The Lovers, a divine connection. What happens? Our wishes become fulfilled. Because one, I really feel like, see, this is the Ace and the 9. Because we loved ourselves, we were able to make our own wishes come true. And because we worked on ourselves, our collective wish, the Lovers, can come true. Because why? A total death occurs. Okay, in the future, the cycle completely ends. There's all these bodies at the bottom. Consider those your collective wounds. Okay, that all of those wounds needed to be to die, then to be healed, and then this resurgence, this rebirth can then happen into this Fool's energy, which is at the bottom of the deck. But what I want to really say about this is you have to love yourself. You've got to fill your own cup of love. Remember, with this current connective energy, this is what you're working on right now. Don't keep focusing on this loss. Focus on the cup that is behind that you need to continue to fill for yourself. Okay, then in the future, you can have this cup of love that you can exchange with others, with your masculine, move into something smooth, have this divine connection, and then your wishes become fulfilled because that old relationship that didn't work had a complete death. And now you can have this new cycle with the Fool's energy. So I'll tell you, it was a little shocking the way that it all kind of evolves. But I really feel like this future energy is applicable if you really focus on your own cup. I really do. I'm telling you, use this time when you are not together, when you're at the stalemate, to continue to heal yourself. Allow your masculine to heal, okay, for the sake of your contract, so that you can have this rebirth, right? This death and then this Fool in the future. But it all stems from surrendering the connection now, okay? And focusing on yourself and loving yourself now. He needs to do that. You need to do that, and not focus on all the cups that have spilled over, okay? Get out of the victim mentality. Stay in your queen power. He needs to continue to evolve. You are not his savior. He needs to save himself. He needs to work on himself and become the king. Because, it has nothing to do with masculine, feminine, that kind of stuff. I'll just tell you, in and of itself as a human being, if you don't fix yourself because you want to fix yourself, it's just not going to stick. He's going to need to fix himself because he wants to. And same with her, right? And then it will be authentic, and then it will be something that you can build off of. You just can't do it because you're trying to pretend to change for the sake of getting someone back. It has to be authentic. You can't psych out the universe. And he has to do it for himself because he wants to. and you have to fill your cup because you want to. And then we can get into this really, really beautiful energy that comes from going through this time of distance and separation, and self-love.
And that's kind of what we want to do our workshops about, don't we? We want to help people fill their own cup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm tired.
I'm exhausted. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I feel like that was such, I mean, we've said it quite a lot. I mean, yeah, that's just intense.
Let me see, because I always use the Lenormand for action. Shall I just see like what actions will he take?
Yeah.
Let's just see, like, because the feminine's got a lot of wands in her space, and I'm gonna, first card that flipped out was message, but I'm not taking that. I want to know what actions.
All right. Well, I've just noticed this crystal that I'm holding, it's literally about to break.
Really?
Yeah, it's wobbling. It's literally wobbling, and it's about, this bit here is about to snap off. Look, it's literally about to snap off. Look.
What? Oh my gosh. That's
How
because
weird
the energy is really heavy. What kind of crystal is that?
Well, it was. It was, I don't know, I think it was like a amethyst aura. It was supposed to be, but it's literally just broken.
Okay, so we got bottom of the deck, commitment. We have the ring. Okie dokie. Well, I'll tell you, it's a little interesting what's coming out. Here's what I'm getting. We have the fox. We have the snake. Those two together, I don't really like it, okay? And with the clover, these three, what I'm getting is this is his kind of energy, strategic, a little deceptive, all right? Taking things lightly. And then it's followed by the tree. And so what I feel like this is the energy he needs to heal. This strategic kind of fox type of behavior, this deceptive, maybe too desirous type of behavior. Then with this clover, which is, you know, taking things lightly, like this worked for him in the past, right? Maybe when he was with people that weren't necessarily like the divine feminine. This type of behavior, this strategic, foxy, desirous, deceptive type of behavior, you know, keeping things light with people worked, okay? But that behavior needs to be healed now through this tree. And he will be successful in healing that. And then we are able, with this number one card, with the Rider, able to move forward and out of this merry-go-round, okay? So this is, you know, a maiden on a horse. And remember, this is a carousel. So the carousel goes up and down, round and round, and we're done with that. That has been the cycle that we have been in. Up and down, emotions up and down, going round and round, break up, make up, break up, make up. This cycle is going to end, and we will have victory. But I will tell you, the root cause of all of this is him taking things very lightly, these old behaviors, right? Maybe not being authentic, maybe being strategic, self-serving, deceptive, okay, selfish. Those things will be healed. That's what this 2 of air, 3 of air is with the Fool and his overall energy. It's like, oh, I really don't want to pay attention to the things that I've done in the past, so I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to try to escape it, but my heart is broken. His heart being broken is going to lend him to this healing, which he will ultimately be victorious, and you guys can get off the merry-go-round. So I just feel like he's going to do the work, and maybe it's not necessarily for us to know exactly how with this moon card, but I feel like he is, you know, getting the sun card and an assured success around this type of behavior. He's going to heal from it, and we're going to be able to move this forward into this commitment, but only after the death of this cycle, okay? Only after the death of this cycle. It needs to completely be gone. You can't build off of that foundation. It is bad news. So, so that's all I got, Laura, for collective.
Okay, that's all. Yeah, that's kind of all I have as well. I feel like, yeah, there's a lot going on, and
yeah, I mean, there's so much going on, and your crystal broke.
Yeah, but look, it's a heart. Can you
Oh
see
my
that?
gosh.
But it's like a broken heart because it broke. Look, isn't that weird? It kind of feels like the energy was so heavy it broke my crystal.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. The energy is really super heavy. I'll take a picture of that for my Instagram. It's quite
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah, it's just I do hope that, I mean, I know that the feminines are very strong and so are the masculines, but it just, at the moment, it's like, just, if you're struggling, just rest, because there will be a time to get up and there'll be a time to push forward. But, you know, at the moment, it feels like everything's kind of a bit still, because some people have to take responsibility for their actions, some have to pull away and focus on themselves. And so there's just a lot of energies everywhere. But hopefully when we do the reading next week, it'll be a little bit lighter.
I hope so. You know what? I just feel like this is all necessary. So
Yeah.
necessary. It's painful, but it's necessary. And it's just stay in your power, stay strong. And again, you know, if you guys can let us know how you guys like this reading, and then obviously please let us know your interest level in our upcoming you know, conference and retreat that we're going to be having, this workshop that we're going to be doing next year, Laura and I. Let us know, because we are amped up. We are ready to get in front of all of you and make this happen. Like Laura said earlier, we're ready to do this like now. Yeah. So yeah, so let us know, tell us in the comments, and we're already starting to work on really making this happen. So Laura, thanks again for collaborating. I love this. I love the energy exchange. Even though it was heavy, I didn't feel alone.
We have each other.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. I love doing these, and thank you so much to everyone for their lovely comments. We didn't have anything, you know, negative. It was all positive. So I hope, you know, people will continue to enjoy these, and thank you so much for collaborating with me. I'm so honored. I find these, like, I don't really do twin flame readings, masculine readings anymore, so it's nice for me to be able to do this with someone like you, and it's just, yeah, it feels like a whole new beginning to something. So yeah, if you want to let us know about, you know, seeing our workshops, or about this video, we would love to hear from you. We're ready. We were ready yesterday, weren't we?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, thanks everyone. Have a great week, and we will be back with this again next week. Hopefully it's moves forward, right? Hopefully we see more progress.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, guys.